Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Here she goes. Great ass! And you got your head all the way up it. Say hello to my little friend.
Hoo-ah! Oh, yeah. I'm the hand of Mona Lisa's skirt. I'm a surprise, Kevin. They don't see me coming.
You don't get it, do you, Finch? You're my job. You're what I'm paid to do. You're about as mysterious to me as a blocked toilet is to a fucking plumber. Reasons for doing what you did? Who gives a fuck?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Al Pacino retrospective review series, the only review series on YouTube covering every single film in the filmography of Al Pacino, the legend himself. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing the 2002 mystery thriller Insomnia, directed by the great Christopher Nolan, starring, of course, Al Pacino alongside the late great Robin Williams, Hillary Swank, Martin Donovan, Paul Dooley, Nicky Katt, Amora Tierney, among others. It is a remake of the 1997 Norwegian movie of the same name, which starred, what's his name? Stellan Skarsgård, if I got that correctly. Now, right off the bat, I have not seen that original film, but I have been told it's a much darker, a more moodier, somber sort of piece. A little bit more disturbing piece as well than this one. This film already in itself is kind of, moody, atmospheric, and pretty dark. So I can't imagine what the original Norwegian one is like. I really have to give it a watch someday, but as of yet, I haven't done so. Anyway, let's just without any further ado, let's just dive right into Insomnia from 2002, and let's give you my thoughts on this film. As always, there is the chance of spoilers in these reviews, by the way, so I think for this film there might be one or two, so if you are sensitive to spoilers, if you haven't seen this film, I would really recommend, watching the film and then come back to me for if you want to hear my thoughts. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go into Insomnia.
The plot of the movie goes as follows. In Nightmute, Alaska, 17-year-old resident Kate Connell is found murdered. As a favor to the local Nightmute police chief, two Los Angeles robbery homicide police detectives, Will Dormer, played by Al Pacino, and Hap Eckhart, played by Martin Donovan, are called in to assist in the investigation. Although renowned in the police world, both Dormer and Eckhart are facing some professional issues back in Los Angeles. In Nightmute, Dormer has a major case of insomnia due to a combination of the incessant midnight sun and from a secret he is carrying. This insomnia is causing him to be delusional. Something he is not dreaming about is that the murderer, Walter Finch, played by Robin Williams, has contacted him, informing him all about the murder and the fact that he knows everything that is going on with Dormer. They begin a symbiotic relationship in keeping secrets for each individual's benefit. But ambitious young local detective Allie Burr, played by Hillary Swank, might piece together the story on her own. Al Pacino plays Will Dormer, a burned-out, jaded detective who's seen and done it all, including bending the laws a few times. His past is catching up with him as we meet him and find out early on in the story. And later on, when the insomnia kicks in and his conscience eats away at him, it's when Pacino really excels in this piece. The twitchiness and also the tired and sleepy demeanor one would think a person suffering from insomnia has really shines through and is portrayed wonderfully in Pacino's performance here. It's definitely a bit of a departure from previous police officers Pacino has played. A much more subtle and subdued performance, and definitely nowhere near as bombastic as a Vincent Hanna or even a Frank Serpico, for instance. If one would compare this to any of his other cop roles, I'd probably lean more towards Frank Keller from Sea of Love, but even that character had more bombastic moments than this one. There's definitely a few moments where Pacino loses his shit, quote-unquote, in this one, so to speak, but not as much as one would expect. Overall, another fantastic performance by the legend as far as I'm concerned. Robin Williams is absolutely fantastic in this definitely non-comedic role. He fits perfectly as this slimy and manipulative, psychopathic killer, and the game of cat and mouse between him and Pacino is absolutely brilliant to behold. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Robin Williams and all of his funnier and more family-friendly roles as well, but movies like this one and 1 Hour Photo definitely shows what range he had as an actor. God, I miss him, and I'm positive I'm not alone in that regard. Fantastic job by Williams. Hillary Swank is terrific as well as the rookie ambitious cop, and the interplay between her and Pacino is really great too. The banter back and forth between them in the first half, where she is in awe of this hero detective from LA who she admired and did a study on during her academy days, is perfectly contrasted by the growing suspicion she starts to have about Pacino in the second half of the story, all resulting in a great resolution for the finale. Top-notch stuff. Rest of the cast all deliver more than solid performances too, with a highlight for me being the hotel receptionist / manager, played by Maura Tierney. The big scene between her and Pacino towards the ending of the film where he shares a secret with her is one of my favorite scenes in this piece. The whole film is wonderfully photographed with some stunning shots of the Alaskan environment and surrounding wilderness. Christopher Nolan does an absolute superb job directing the piece, and for my money this is a criminally underrated film in his filmography. It barely gets mentioned when discussing the esteemed director, which is a shame. I get it, the man has done many fantastic films, but for me this one ranks personally as one of my favorites of him. All in all, a really great mystery cat and mouse thriller, wonderfully directed with great performances across the board. For fans of Pacino, Nolan, Williams, or even Hillary Swank, definitely a must-watch in my opinion. 8 stars out of 10 for me on this one. Highly recommended indeed.
So there you guys have it. That was my review for the 2002 cat and mouse thriller Insomnia. Again, for me, this is so underrated. Again, you barely hear people mentioning it when discussing Christopher Nolan or Robin Williams or Hillary Swank or, hell, even, of course, the man of the hour, Al Pacino. This is a very, very underrated one. I think it's probably, for me speaking, the best movie that he's done in at least in the first half of the 2000s decade, or maybe even the entire decade, from 2000 to 2010. Even though I know there's a film, of course, coming up, miniseries rather, Angels in America, which I really, really do enjoy. So I'm going to see, once I rewatch that, how it compares to this one, maybe, see which one I prefer. But so far, obviously, of season 3, and we're only 2 movies in, but so far, this is my favorite we've covered so far. But that takes me on to episode 3, which is going to be next week. Which is going to be another film from 2002. This is more of a comedy, which I do feel is kind of ahead of its time. This has become really relevant in the recent years, this film, the subject that it deals with. It's probably my favorite comedy of Pacino, because we're also going to be covering another one, an infamous one from 2010 in this season. I know you guys will probably know which one it is. And I know we're going to be covering Geely as well soon, and Anyway, the film we're going to be discussing next week is 2002's, also from the same year as Insomnia, Simone, starring Al Pacino, of course, along with some other pretty good people in there. I know Winona Ryder pops up in this one as well. So yes, stay tuned for next week when we will be taking a dive into Simone, which again, just slight spoilers ahead, I do feel is a bit underrated and a bit ahead of its time. So we're going to see how I'm going to like it now on the rewatch for the review, but I remember liking it. It has been a while since I've watched it. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Shout out to my members, Craig the Hoff and Crushers Movies and Games. Thank you guys so much for being members. Once again, these Al Pacino reviews, they will be available to members earlier than they are for for the rest of the audience. So if you do want to get a sneak peek at the Pacino episodes and stuff, if you want to see them before most people do consider becoming a subscriber. It will really help the channel out. I will put everything I'll earn back into the channel, invest in better equipment and stuff like that, because I want to do the best I can. I'm doing the best I can right now, but I know I can do better, and I want to do better. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. Keep punching, and we will see you all in episode 3, where we will be covering Simone from 2002. Stay tuned, and so long for now.